I'll tell you what, guys, when it comes to free picks, I just can't lose. 2 nights ago, North Carolina. Last night, Xavier. Do you realize that's six straight college basketball winners since last Thursday and a 26-8 roll overall with the last 34 plays I've been giving away for free here on the video report, no matter the sport? Yeah, 26 out of 34. And I've got a couple more here for first round play on the big dance. My problem is the plays I'm actually using as my best bets. So here's the deal. Yesterday, I released SMU in the NIT, and SMU was at home against Northern Iowa. Now, when I released that play early in the morning, SMU was 10 and a half. And then at the two big books that I always allude to, that line quickly dropped to 9.5. SMU naturally won by 10. However, I've got to take that as a push because at one of those two books, that line fluctuated between 9.5 and 10. So there's just no way I can ever count that as a win. So just to let you know, those of you that bought that play yesterday, if you check your account today, customer service has already added today's play for free. Those of you that are on an extended package with me, customer service is extending your package by an extra day as a make good because I think this is the only fair way to do it. Now, frankly, I would have rather given away SMU yesterday and actually played Xavier, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Okay, guys, Al DeMarco here, General Manager, DeMarcoSports.com, and this is naturally going to be your Thursday video report. And without further ado, let's get to it. And let me just remind you that you can get all the plays of all the handicappers over at DeMarcoSports.com absolutely free. You can pick the 2 days. It's a 2-day trial. You can do it today. You can do it tomorrow. The all access pass today, for example, costs $109. Tomorrow, it will cost $109 as well. If you've never been a customer before at DeMarcoSports.com, you can use the all access pass and get all the plays of all the handicappers for free. And free means free. As I always like to joke that I can't really oversell the word free because what more can I possibly say? It's one of the good four-letter words, one of the few that I can actually use here on YouTube. So check it out. The 2-day free all access pass. And if you have any questions, you can always contact customer service. Okay, now in terms of the plays here today, the first game I'm going to go with is going to be St. John's, minus 18.5 points. They're playing in Omaha tonight, in Providence tonight against Omaha. Listen, I followed the Summit League extensively this year, and Omaha had a nice little season. I can't say that they were better than St. Thomas of Minnesota, but hey, they're there. And St. John's is an 18.5 point favorite, which is kind of surprising to me because I thought St. John's would be laying somewhere around 22 or 23. Interesting little tidbit here in case you happen to be on Jeopardy anytime today. Last time St. John's won a tournament game, March 16th in the year 2000. Yeah, you know what you were doing 25 years ago this week, right? You got a team that's 30-4 overall, 7-3 ATS on the road, 3-1 ATS in neutral site games. A team that's covered 19 out of 29 as a chalk. Rick Pitino in Providence, pretty good karma here. I think the key here in this game, however, you've got St. John's, such a big physical team that does so well on the boards against an Omaha team that simply doesn't rebound that well. In fact, they have no regular rotation player bigger than 6'8". And I think that's just really the easy way to put it. And that's why I like St. John's in that spot. Your next game is going to be a little bit on the earlier side of the card. It's going to be Gonzaga minus the 6.5 against Georgia. This one at 4:35 Eastern time in the Midwest Regional. That game is being played in Wichita. Personally, I think the Zags are underseeded in this one. You go 25-8 and you're relegated to the number 8 seed because you didn't have the season that you've had in past years. So the committee looked down your nose at you? Or is it because if you being the committee, you had so many SEC teams that really didn't deserve to be in the tournament? I'm looking at you, Georgia. That's why the Zags got pushed down. I mean, this is a team that has not lost in the tournament's first round since 2008, 15 straight wins. And in that 15-game winning streak, when they have been a single digit chalk or an underdog, the Zags are 6-0 against the spread. You realize, of course, I'm not calling them the Bulldogs because you've got two matchups between Bulldogs here, right? That has dawned on you, right? Anyway, you've got a team that's on a 9-1 roll with the only loss to St. Mary's, and of course, they avenged that loss in their conference tournament game. Georgia did come up with a big win at Texas on March 1st. But Georgia, prior to that win in Austin, had lost its previous 7 road games. This is a team that was 3-7 on the road this year. And as I always like to say, when it comes to the tournament, if you ain't playing at home, it's a road game. I don't care if it's a neutral court game. And I don't put too much into a team's neutral court record on the year because often those neutral site games, when you're playing a little sister of the poor in November, big deal. You're supposed to win those games. Their only true road wins this year, South Carolina, Georgia Tech, and that game against Texas. There you go. And I think when it comes to the matchup in this game, Georgia goes only as far as their outstanding freshman, the 6'11 Newell, Asa Newell goes. And listen, he's had a great year, 15 points, almost 7 rebounds a game, and 54% from the field. But what Gonzaga has is Ike Graham, the former Wyoming standout who transferred to them. He has had such a good year. 6'9 senior, gives up a couple inches in height, but more experience, a real burly big guy, averaged 17 points, 7.5 rebounds, shot 59% from the field because he takes all his shots so close to the bucket. Again, I think Georgia's only in because of their SEC pedigree, and I'm going to go with Gonzaga here minus the points. And your final play, I'm going to go with BYU. BYU minus 2.5 over VCU. That's an East Regional game in Denver. It goes at 4:05 Eastern Time. One of the advantages I think that BYU has in this game is that the game is being played in altitude, something that they are certainly used to. Playing out west, this game is at the Denver Nuggets home at Ball Arena. That is exactly 1 mile over sea level. And you've got a VCU team that had to play 3 games in 3 days against the Atlantic 10 opponents and beating who they beat Sunday, George Mason. BYU did lose to Houston in the semifinals of the Big 12 tournament, but that snapped their 9-game winning streak. And I was impressed with the way they closed the season. How can you not be impressed? I mean, they entered the tournament on a 9-1 roll. And I think that the fact that they're playing closer to home, being in Denver, and the fact that VCU has less rest factors in. Now, listen, VCU, nice little statistical run coming in here on a 12-1 roll. I had to do a live stream with somebody else yesterday, and I pointed out that to me, though, VCU was playing its best ball end of January, beginning of February. BYU is playing its best ball right now. So that's why I'm going to go with them in this particular spot. By the way, if you're interested, Ball Arena being 5,280 feet above sea level, if that was truly a college arena, that would be number 7 in terms of height above sea level in all of college D1 level action, with only Wyoming, Air Force, Northern Arizona, Southern Utah, Colorado, Boulder, and Denver Pioneers having higher elevations. So that just tells you what an anomaly it is to play at this type of elevation, and why I think that BYU, coming from Provo and playing out west so frequently, I think that obviously plays to their advantage. Now, those are your 3 plays, and if I had to rate those 3 selections, I would say at the top tier would be St. John's and BYU. No difference between them. And then tier number 2 would be Gonzaga. So that'll do it. That'll be your report for today, and I will talk to you again tomorrow, guys. Good luck.